Boys and girls, nerdlings of all ages, welcome to game number 1 of tonight's PUBG EU Pro Scrims. My name is Jorasar. We are taking to the skies of Miramar. And we have a delightful set of 6 games for you this evening, including a whole bunch of mixed teams. But the mixed teams are actually pretty sexy as well. Got some really good players in this lobby. Some of Europe's finest will be competing for you this evening. We're starting out on Miramar. That's going to be a 4 to 10 o'clock plane path, all fairly regulation. Your teams tonight are Question Mark, Ghetto Gang, After All, Win or Die, Heroic, Panathinaikos AC Esports, Sarvem Esports, Room for Improvement, MTB, Mercurial, Team of Anatolia, BBL Esports, The Woo, and then we've got 4 mixed teams. Marcy, Nidax, Woxes, and He-Man are all with mixed teams in this lobby. And if we take a look, oh my god. Well, let's address the elephant in the room of this first circle. A possible island finish. Isn't it always possible? If only Toby was here now, but we're centering just north of Puerto Paraiso. And to give you an idea of the strength of some of these teams, we've got, on Nidex's team, we've got Nidex, Double, Jam, and Silas. That's an impressive lineup, right? Obviously, PUBG is so much about teamwork as well as individual skill that you can get a team with, you know, on paper, players who look like they should lose the fight, actually winning the fight convincingly. It's all down to communication and teamwork. And that's what you don't necessarily see just from watching the stream. These guys put in so much hard work behind the scenes to get everything up to a point where it is spick and span from a competitive standpoint. So we are looking forward to seeing how they do. Mercurial in and around Hacienda. Gemty, Pixelic, Nowick, and Paige. It's been a while since we've seen this team in action, at least on my stream, on the scrims. So very keen to see what they will end up doing today. Doesn't look like anyone's hot dropped on top of each other. Hacienda, obviously a fun place to do that. Just the Woo in Los Leones. We've got Fuzzface here with Nixie, Intense, and Ibby. This is going to be a lot of fun as well. I mean, to be honest, pretty much every team here has the potential to cause some ridiculously fun upsets, team fights, call it what you will. Pretty much every team has the ability to frag out here. And of course, Question Mark, Faultlessly, Phil, First Aduzi, and Dante up to the northwest quadrant of the map to begin with. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, welcome to the Pro Scrims. I tend to commentate these on Wednesdays, but I am also around periodically elsewhere in the week where I can. Welcome to the stream and welcome to the Pro Scrims. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, you can use exclamation mark leaderboard in the chat to take a look at the live leaderboard for how many points all of our teams are getting today. Voldemort just going to get picked up here from the rest of Sarvem Esports as they move into circle. It's at the 4-minute mark now, so we're expecting most teams to be thinking about rotating or simply accepting they're going to be one of the last to rotate now, one or the other. You've got room for improvement in the new reworked Oasis on Miramar, or relatively new, I should say. I have to say, from a landscape point of view, it's changed quite a bit, hasn't it? This island with the church in the middle there. It's not often we get to see that much PUBG action in Oasis, but it can be quite fun when it does happen. Some people argue it's a pity it's not more often. I'd like to see more circle variety personally, but we'll have to wait and see. So the Woo have moved out of Los Leones into the east side, and they're going to, I think, 2-2 split between these compounds for now. Nidex's team are going to be able to hold quite well across a very large swathe of southern Los Leones. And then we've got Marcy's team here, who are taking a look for where they most likely want to be. I think they've spotted that there was someone ahead, and I believe they know that After All have taken some of these compounds, so they're being a little bit more cautious. They're not going in blind at 150 miles an hour or anything like that. They want to try and get as much scouting information as possible, which is why they're stopped out on these hills at the moment. Let's take a look. We've actually had some shots coming their way as well. That's going to be from After All. either from Mad or from Hibako. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty confident that that's towards the direction of Prorix. So these guys have got a reasonable position. After all, closer towards the coast means they're more likely to have to move in, say, west of Impala or west of Puerto later on in the game. But it's a fairly easy early position to secure. BBL and Co. are now moving relatively close to Nedex team. ABC owner Mur and Thenderlost will know that they are there inside that group of buildings. Jam has been spotted on the top floor. A couple of quick shots to try and get a cheeky headshot. Thenderlost unable to do that and gets headshot himself. That's Nedex taking him down. Still got a level 2 helmet, but that's going to be almost knocked off his head. And that first knock is relatively important there. I don't think these guys are going to be pushing, realistically, at all. But I do think that after you get the first knock, it's a bit of a confidence booster and also basically says, we doubt they're going to push in anytime soon. So the lines in the sand have been drawn southeast of Los Leones here. Silas is going to... Is he playing it safe and joining Jam, or is he actually going to see where else he can... He is. He's going to see where else he can scout. Is this to pick up Double? Double does not have anyone on him. But I also can't see a car, can you? Oh no, he's got a Murado there, so it's just going to be 2-2 split between the 5-stack compound and this one here, depending on where the circle goes next. All good. Mercurial coming in from up north. We have Panathinaikos potentially wandering straight into half the team. They have to be a little wary. They've still got someone right in front of them. That's Jempty getting into the UAZ and driving away. Panathinaikos thinking twice and deciding, okay, we're fine. We can continue moving on. Aimfrost was thinking about seat swapping for a second, and now they come across the other half of the team. Are they going to fight? Pydaros goes down very quickly. Traded out from Noik. Actually, that's Ainin from... God knows where, actually. Oh, goodness, from up there. So that trade isn't even 1-for-1 between these two teams. There's a third party involved. Choosing not to fight, though. They're continuing moving southwards. They want to get a better position in circles. Unfortunate that they've lost someone so early, but it is what it is. Right. Dante? Hello? Dante? Uh-oh. Dante's had to attend to some sort of emergency. The rest of his team have moved out, so I think he's had to step away from his computer and they're just going to have to play. Hopefully he gets back in time. We'll wait and see. We will wait and see. Team of Anatolia. You'll be recognizing a lot of the names here. Apocalypse, Nailcop, Mete, and Celtic. A part of this team. Moving in and through Minas Generalis. They're going to have to continue moving through, of course, but they're one of the last teams in, so they're probably happy to sort of take these compounds south of La Bandita, not getting too dangerous. Most teams have actually got in quite fine. Heroic here as well. On the bottom, we got T-Bone, Kurexi, Beamy, and James playing for Heroic. They've got the southern highway towards Puerto Paraiso and are looking pretty relaxed so far. This is also only circle number 1. So by circle 6, obviously we'll be here, and then we'll be writing about this game to Toby on social media afterwards. If that happens, guys, you have to spam his Twitter, okay? It just has to happen. But let's... I mean, we're not calling it before it happens, but I feel like because Toby's not here, it's almost more likely to happen. We'll wait and see. MTB Esports. Rupture Esqui, she created. And CTRKN. A lot of people say control. There's no L there, man. I tend to go with CTR personally, but I'm sure there is room for creativity in that. We have some slightly interesting off-road driving from Rupture. He moves west of Junkyard into Circle. Comfortably in blue now, but of course not doing too much damage. Anatolia have to rethink their strategy here because Ghetto Gang have got a really good crossfire onto Mete. He's actually had to stop. Is the vehicle... Oh, the vehicle is on fire, so it's going to be a bit of a problem. Flew just a little bit too close to the sun. Probably getting a pickup from Celtic. Yes, I think he is. An option to be just a little bit more safe. Ventured a little too deep into Ghetto Gang territory, and they're actually still technically not in circle. Mercurial now moving in. Nowick, unfortunately, is down. They're down to a 3-man team, but Page, of course, has got that 1 kill as well. And they're carving a path in between several teams as they look at this, as they move in here. This is going to be very interesting indeed. Phase 2 going further towards the coast. Win or die. Gets a knock onto him. It looks like Wades is going to drop out of the game at this point, unable to get to a position where he can get rezzed by his teammate. Leosh and the entirety of Mercurial wanting this compound. Unfortunately, Leosh is on his lonesome. They're going to try and get Jimbo back down now. Smoke's going down everywhere. They do not want to go down to a duo this early. Pixel actually body blocking there. An option to go for the carry. Oh, Gemty. There we go. Should be able to get the revive safely. Well done. And as you can see, this is why phase 2 has about 35% water. The island, sadly, are out of it now. And everyone is scrambling to get a better position. Team of Anatolia. They were outside of circle in the north side before, remember? And they're now struggling to find a home. Panathinaikos is saying you absolutely cannot have the gas station. So they're going to end up having to dip across the road from there instead. Not an awful lot more they can do from this point, sadly. Our MTB going to crash the party. Shot at from the right. Are they shot at from the left? They're shot at from the left as well. They know that there's a problem here and they're going for it. Rupture very exposed as he tries to take Anatolia on. Not sure how effective that's going to be. These nades, though, could end up being very effective. Celtic, a bounce or two away from getting knocked there if he's not careful. But now MTB are getting shot at from other directions as well. And this is the problem, right? They can go ahead and face these guys across the road, but it's win or die that are, frankly, third-partying the heck out of this. We've also got Mercurial taking a look at them. That's a single grenade. A single grenade eliminates MTB Esports from win or die. That is huge. And 6ix9ine will go ahead and grab himself 2 kills. Wades and Leosh, unfortunately, down in the meantime. But win or die with their first 2 points on the board here as we move into phase 2 of game number 1. Did the rest of question... No, unfortunately, Dante did not make it. So Faultlessly, Aduzi, and Phil First are continuing in this game. And they're very much playing on edge at the moment. 10 o'clock position. Looking pretty relaxed. Room for improvement. Also on edge. And then the mixed team from Wok says, you'll recognize a couple of these names too. Blue Star. Wok says, no life and give it. Part of this mixed team. And actually, they've got a clear run on the road up to Puerto Paraiso until they run into He-Man's team. And take a look at how strong this is. So, ES Test PLH02, by the way, is Fainotto. So, Fainotto, Iroh, He-Man, and Seong. What a team that is. Anatolia are now... Oh my god. Okay, I know how I said I wanted some unusual circles, but this is getting mad. Phase 3, we've gone from a 35% water intake to just under 50%. Everyone is going to be collapsing essentially onto the compound that BBL are now defending. He-Man mix. Oh, the terrain here means that they can sort of fight from this location without having to worry from people from that angle. So they might actually choose to take the fight a little bit later on. There's no one inside Puerto as well to deal with from the low ground. So there aren't going to be people up here shooting up towards this hill. So they could be in a really good position coming into the latter stages of this game. Still a lot of work to do, though. Still only 14 minutes elapsed in this game. Yay. Fuzzface welcoming Marbo to the crew and deciding to back off for now because he sees that there were multiple people there. Sarvam Esports looking like they're going to be sending it to some extent. The Woo on their left. Couple of warning shots, nothing big, but we've got room for improvement up front, and that's what worries me. You see the... By the time you see the vehicles, good reactions really to get Marbo there, but everybody else got absolutely caned. And that's Sarvam Esports on rotation out. Marbo should be able to get revived with some smokes as well. If that car rolls over Marbo and finishes him off, that would be the saddest story in this game so far. Panathinaikos had a mishap. They unfortunately team killed en route in, but it looks like everyone managed to get back in. Oh, hang on. Wok says deciding. Might want a little bit of action here. Barbo's getting revived. Nade's going out towards Senix. He's actually getting carried back behind the car, not into the shed. Into the shed might have been a mistake with the attention that's getting. We've also got Ibby on the hill behind. But I don't think he can get up there without attracting attention from elsewhere. Paneth and Icos now rushing in. Let's go on board with them. Max and Aimcross, the only two left. Aimcross getting absolutely punched out of the vehicle. Still all four tires left. But Max is down to the only player alive on his team. It's about to explode. He has no choice but to use the car as moving cover. Instant smoke grenade. It's not going to be enough. Paneth and Icos eliminated. We're down to 11 teams at the 16-minute mark. This is a rough circle for people to be in with 40-45% water. All hell can break loose at this point. Question mark with a doozy down. Faultlessly Phil first. Coming in as a duo against He-Man. And He-Man has actually got the high ground advantage here with all four players from the team still in the game. Taking the opportunity to try and revive Ira. I don't think Question mark are trying to go over the ridge at the moment. They don't know how many bogeys are on the other side. Are they going to revive a doozy? It doesn't look like it. No. So they're down to a duo, unfortunately. The blue coming in means that's going to be a little bit too much. And now that everyone is revived, they're going to have another sneak peek. They have to be a little worried about Wok says. But look at this. He-Man getting a nice flank angle here. Oh, there's plenty. It's open season over here. Gets the one knock. Traded out well. Here comes Iro over the top. That's question mark eliminated. He-Man and Feinotto both down, but should be revivable. They're now up to 3 kills. He-Man doing a good job. Wox is thinking about coming in and third partying, but unfortunately, the gatekeeping here from Xiong is too strong. You can't really get from top of that hill all the way down into valley and back up this one here without He-Man's team getting a couple of knocks. And it's just too much to commit in terms of resources. It's not practically possible. The Wu in a fairly intense fight now as well. They're trying to gatekeep Marcy's team by the looks of it. Intense is down relatively close by to Fuzzface. Cheeky heal and into the smokes we go. Both of these teams are outside of circle, remember. Prorex spots Ibby, extending just a little bit too far. Loving the colorful soles to the feet of the shoes there. And a very, very important couple of knocks makes Prorex actually the last player up and standing. Unfortunately, the third party from Ghetto Gang is just too strong, and Marcy's is eliminated. Ghetto Gang and Room for Improvement, though, might be having a little bit of an argument in terms of who's going to get into zone. Room for Improvement have come in and mopped up the rest of the Wu. But if Ghetto Gang fully disengage here and allow Senix room to breathe, then they're going to walk into win or die. So on the north side of the circle, very much up in the air. Phase 4 now at least moves away from water, and we're basically all on land, so no dolphin strategies coming into play, at least not in this game. On board with Senix, he decides what to do. Does he see Sancho? He sees Sancho. Excellent. Oh, and he can't quite get the knock before Zubila turns around. Really nice. I want to say spray, but realistically, they were bursts from the M4 there to stop his teammate from getting knocked and keeping Ghetto Gang all 4 in the game with 5 kills to their name. This is what we were talking about before. Win or die is going to be relatively close to them. And the more that they wanted to go into the circle early on, the more difficult it would be because they wouldn't be able to avoid a confrontation. There's an AWM inside that crate. No one's claimed it just yet. Very much out in the open. If Win or Die go down here, I can see Ghetto Gang picking it up, but that's basically it. Otherwise, I think it's going to go unclaimed into phase 4. BBL have the entirety of the central compound, by the way. They're just chilling. Look at this. They've got no one from underneath to shoot them. Then the Lost will know if anyone from Puerto is coming up. So that's a super smart anchor position. The rest of the team aren't inside the compound, but they're on top of the cliffs, keeping an eye out for anyone coming in. And I believe Mur has got a pretty tasty care package of his own. Yes, I can see guns drop there. Let's take a look at what he's wearing. Oh, it might not be him. We've got the Groza on Onur. So there we go. That's where the crate has gone. Very, very pleasing for BBL. E-Man's mixed team, on the other hand, 3 kills. Pretty chill on the southwestern edge at the moment. Continuing to rotate. I think they've identified that there's no one from Puerto coming up, so it should be relatively safe to go halfway down the mountain and rotate this way. I feel like this is a lovely vector to rotate on. Right, this fight with Win or Die, I think, is about to end. There we go. Headshot onto 6-9 to finish things off. Ghetto Gang up to 6 kills. More importantly, going into phase 5, all 4 members left alive. And we're actually into the top 6 in this game already. So the top 8, of course, get placement points. We're then going to have 1 point per kill. And every point you rack up for the team matters as far as the leaderboard is concerned in a competitive environment. Super important to make sure that you squeeze every possible advantage to get those points in the bag for your team. Ghetto Gang so far this game are doing a great job of that. Although they're now going to be pushing closer to both Afterworld and Needex's mix. So we've got 3 mixed teams out of 4 in the final 6. Just saying, 50% of the lobby are mixed teams right now. BBL in some aspects in pole position in the center of the circle for phase 5. We'll wait and see what happens. Fantastic knock from range using the Mini 14. Mad's actually on 4 kills this game solo, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's doing fantastically well. And after all, don't have to worry about anyone coming down from south again. For the same reason BBL don't have to worry about it. It looks like Feyenoto is not actually going to move into Puerto and come down via the south. Possibly the terrain there isn't great. Let's imagine you go all the way down. I can see someone going as far as here maybe, but definitely not beyond. Actually, I take that back. The view from the top of that terrain might be a little bit too much. So coming in via this rock is probably the way to go. And then you can take a look there. Ghetto Gang, oh my god. Looking like a pincushion at the moment. April and Blazor, the last 2 players standing. And the reason Blazor's still standing is because he did not join the party here, that's for sure. Going for some bolt hits with the AWM onto... but actually, it doesn't matter. I think that's onto Wox's team. Yes, it is. It was onto No Life, but sadly, only connecting with a body shot, and he is outside of next zone. If I'm BBL right now, I'm consolidating on top of these cliffs. Finally getting some shots on them from behind. I say from behind, from the east. After all, letting them know that they have actually got that warehouse compound. That's big, big information for BBL, who are once again center going into phase 6. So they'll know there's someone there. Thunderlost will know there's no one to their south, so they should be able to pull in and group up either on Mur or on ABC. I would personally prefer to group for these cliffs here, because if you get backfilled on these cliffs and you're there on the east side, let's say they successfully gatekeep After All, which I think is a big possibility for BBL here if they try and push in. If After All push in, that is. That's fine, but if they get backfilled on these cliffs in the meantime, they're going to find it really difficult to get back towards center circle. So time will tell. Oh, what says? Double gets what? Blue Star looking for the trade. Double now giving it to him, but not before getting a good couple of shots off. Third party coming in from He-Man as well. So all 3 of the mixed teams are having a go at it right now. Needex eliminating Woxes, and that actually leaves He-Man here to potentially come in and pick up the pieces. For Needex, Silas is down. And on this west side of the circle, they're not having to deal with anyone down south because there's a small ridge between them and the cliffs. And BBL are defending the compound rather than the cliffs. So that gives Team He-Man so much room. So much room to maneuver. Silas and Jam both. I can't believe Needex managed to get Jam and Silas up here. That's big. The difference between a solo and a 3-man stack at this point is huge. BBL now properly engaging After All. They've done so. As they need to eliminate quickly and get back to the compound. They do not want to be backfilled. And at the moment, After All, they're struggling. Only we left. BBL onto 3 kills. They've done what they've needed to do. They want to get the full team elimination. Remember, the longer they take, the bigger the opportunity for someone to come in and potentially backfill them. I don't think it's going to happen right this second, but I think it's always a possibility. In fact, He-Man, his squad might be about to do it. This is exactly what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. BBL are in a good spot. But they also know that every second they're not here is a possible second that someone else is grabbing the compound. I think He-Man's mixed team is about to go ahead and grab that compound. Wee is not coming out to play for After All. He's very happy to snake it up. And BBL have decided to push all their chips into the middle of the table. They're not going back to the compound. They want to double down and make sure that they clear out the last player on this side. They have to push even further if they want to get to him, though. Are they going to be able to do that? Wee hears the footsteps. He's waiting for BBL to peek over the ridge. How much more can BBL push? I'm not sure they can afford to, you know. With He-Man's team holding the cliffside on top of the compound where they were before, the more they push in here, the more they put themselves in danger. Phase 7 goes south. He-Man himself has been spotted at least by BBL, which is useful. This crate actually hasn't been touched. It's a Graza. If After All get out of this alive, maybe there's a level 3 vest and helmet in it for Wee as his reward for staying out of sight for so long. BBL are now moving back, being a lot more constrained with where they're moving now from a positional point of view. I like that. Iroh has chosen to stay on top of the cliffs rather than go down inside, which is giving BBL the opportunity to do this, but not before they cross into the crosshairs of his team. Again, this is also fine. From a high ground perspective, they need to worry a little bit about Nedex, but that's it. These guys are in an okay position. And if anyone wants to come down and around, Feynotto will spot them. So I have to say, these two teams have got the position. We is now having to move. 20 seconds till phase 7 closes in. Spots him over Nedex's team. The best thing to do is to keep moving, try and get out of the way of that frag grenade. No longer can do that. He's got a little bit of smoke for cover, but that's it. Into the blue now. Chunking hard. 39 bullets and change. Not going to need to use any of them, though. Nedex's team eliminates them. Jam down, Nedex down. Silas, the last player for Nedex Mix. Is this going to be a premature third place? It's not. He's getting the revive onto Nedex. 6 kills, and they're staying as a duo, but in 1 minute's time, they're going to have to go just a tiny distance, but enough for it to be questionable. Look, as soon as we get into circle here, it's like, okay, that's great. There's a lot less cover here than there was a moment ago. With Thendalos, though, coming in and aggressively taking out a couple members of He-Man's squad, they might not have to. BBL on position to win this game. I think He-Man's squad had the biggest possibility of disturbing BBL in this compound, and BBL have wrapped back around and have taken the fight to them in the hills rather than wait for He-Man's team to move out. Love that. Third place for He-Man's team. Super strong aggressive play coming out there from Thendalos. It's now Nedex and Silo standing in their way. 4v2 for the end of this game. Mer could end up being the spoiler here. I think he will be. Nedex has spotted him. Flash, are we going to insta-rush that? Grenade will surely be coming out the other way. Yes, indeed. Frag grenade missing narrowly. And they have to focus somewhere. It's a 2v4. They can't be constantly shifting direction. They need this opening knock. Otherwise, it's going to be massively problematic. ABC's got one. I think he's going to get the second one as well. They're now starting to be overwhelmed. That's it. BBL Esports, ladies and gentlemen, with 9 kills. We'll take home the chicken dinner in game number 1 of tonight's PUBG EU Pro Scrims. So well done.